Welcome, everybody. Hey, it's Aaron Live. It's a last second live stream, and this is the Monster of the Month live stream. What does that mean? I don't know what it means. It means that every time I come on and do a live stream, I'm drawing a monster. That's what it means. So that's what we're going to do. I'm so ill-prepared. Kevin Thomas is here. He was the first one in the house. He wants some recognition. So I say, you know what, Kevin? I'll give you some. There you go. Aaron Louviere is here. He wants to know how it's going. Well, it's going well. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm still challenged with some hair problems, but other than that, I'm fine. Before you draw whatever you're going to draw, I want to be on record. I want to stipple the heck out of it because this is Stippling Vaughn, and he's a stippler. Leg Kick's here because Leg Kick is almost always here. Jeff, geez, I'll give you this. So there you go. That's what you get. That's what you get for being here. Okay, so today is October 6th, and I want you to know that I've been feverishly working on my pop-up book all day, and I'm like, oh, need a break. So we're going to do this, whatever this may be. Leg Kick is suggesting that Darkoth, the Death Demon from Fantastic Four. Now, there's a monster for you. I don't know who that is. Okay. All right. So taking a break from the pop-up book, which all I have to do is the helicarrier, you know, the shield helicarrier. I have a spot illustration for that because when you open up the book, the helicarrier is going to pop out like this in one of the sections. So I have to draw that. But everything else is penciled and inked, and all I got to do is scan it and send it over to them for the Avengers spread, and then I'm on to the X-Men spread. So it's going to be quite a hectic week, but we'll get through that. And we're going to get through it by doing this. But first, let's take a moment to do a public service announcement, if we could. If I can find it. There it is. Yeah, so please remember to like and subscribe to this channel. Even if you don't like it, it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. So, you know, help a brother out and subscribe. That would be fantastic. And hit like too, because it's free to hit like. So we're going to draw, and when I say we, I mean me. I'm going to draw Xemnu, the Living Titan. But I think before I do that, we need a little history of Xemnu. All right. I just answered that question. Jeff's like, hey, Aaron, what's today's monster? Well, you just found out. It's Xemnu, the Living Titan. So let's take a look at the history of Xemnu. Xemnu first appeared as the Hulk in, I believe, 1961, in Journey into Mystery number 62. Now, this is interesting because originally he says, I've done it. I've created a living Hulk. And he was brown. He wasn't white. So it's very interesting. So there's your first appearance of Xemnu, the Living Titan, but he apparently wasn't an alien. Now, I don't have this copy of this comic. It's on my list of things to get, but it's not on there. So you're saying, okay, Aaron, that's great. That's his first appearance. He was called the Hulk, you know, whatever. But what else can you tell us? Well, I can tell you more. I can tell you as I push my 6 buttons to share my screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Xemnu later appeared in Journey into Mystery number 66, which I do have a copy of this. And this is called Return of the Hulk. So Xemnu, the Living Titan, returns and Journey to Mystery number 66. But it's not clear to me because I can't say if I've actually read it or not. I mean, I do have it, but if I did read it, I'm not sure I remember the story. But he has his little metal helmet, which you can barely see there, and he has this little metal thing that Shatner used to wear in Star Trek to keep his gut in. You know, a little oh, what do you call those things? You know, he has a little metal thing like that. That's kind of interesting. Okay, so the question is, when did Xemnu go from being this man-made Titan to this alien being with the mind control powers? I mean, that's, you know. So let's take a look at his next appearance, if I can, as I have to push 6 buttons once again to share this with you, but there it is. Okay, now this is Monsters on the Prowl. This is probably about, that's 15 center, so it probably was about 1970. Monsters on the Prowl number 11. As you can see, now they've changed it from the Hulk to a Titan and colored him white, right? So, and the guy changed his dialogue a little bit. I've done it. I've created a living Titan. So they're still pushing him off as this sort of Frankenstein type creature. But that's more the modern, well, modern meaning 70s version of the Titan. Okay, so then he starts to show up as a Defenders villain here in Marvel feature number 3. Now, this is a great Gil Kane cover, and that arm that's pointing out towards the rocket ship there, I can't tell you as a kid how many times I copied that because it's such great foreshortening there. But as we see the Titan there, he doesn't have his little metal helmet on, and it doesn't really look like he has his metal girder on, but he may maybe just be covered up by the Hulk. And you'll also notice that this comic book has sort of that letterbox cover that I'm using on my Wraith of God retro cover. Speaking of which, if you haven't backed Wraith of God, you still can. It's in demand right now. So you can actually go in there. It's like a store. You can go in there and order a comic. If you missed out on the actual campaign when it was going on, it's still available. You can still get it until I close that up. And of course, the link is in the description of this, not in Facebook, but in the description of this on YouTube. Although there should be a link in the setup for Facebook as well. But anyway. So here we have Xemnu now white, clearly an alien, and we're not really sure if he still should have his metal helmet on or not. You know, we're still a little vague there. So I'm going to show you one more thing here, if I can. And I have that comic, by the way, too. Here we go. Now this is Defenders number 12, and once again, the Titan strikes again. And we see him, he doesn't have his metal gut belt on, and he doesn't have his little metal helmet on. So it appears that they've dropped that from his costume. Now, there's been modern incarnations of Xemnu. When I say modern, I mean, you know, past 1990 or whatever, into the 2000s, I think, where people have kind of try to make him look cooler. But I look at the old way and I'm like, I think he looks pretty cool that way. So that's kind of the approach I'm going to take. So I don't know if I'm going to do metal helmet or not. I don't know. What do you guys think? Metal helmet or not for Xemnu? Because it doesn't seem to be clear anymore if he should have his gut squisher and his metal helmet or not. So let's see. Leg Kick is just trying to fill us in on Darkoff. Was transformed by Diablo and was Ben Grimm's friend. He was forced to fight the Thing by Diablo. Nuff said. Well, I guess you showed me. There you go, Joe. You know how to get it done. Smash that like and subscribe and share. Victor Thomas is here. Oh, I love it how Jeff is so positive in trying to participate in the show and actually, be a positive contributing member. Okay, Randy Howell's here. Bill Maxwell's here. Official Poly World Trainer is here. Now, I don't know that we've ever had official Poly World Trainer in before. He says, hi, Comicsgate. Hello. Welcome. Like and subscribe if this is your first time in here. I hope you find it of some interest. Okay, Jeff Stout says helmet. Tiny Baby Sloth Daw says, I vote no helmet. Kevin Thomas says Viking helmet. Uh-oh. Joe Bernard, Aaron, Star Trek trivia in the Changeling episode. What is the name of the creator of the original probe? No Googling it. I never have to Google Star Trek. It was James Roy Kirk, not to be confused with James T. Kirk. So, no, it wasn't. It wasn't James Roy Kirk. It was, oh crap. It was James T. Kirk, and he said it's, something, oh crap. See, I'm gonna, once again, I have 2/3 of the answer. Are you the creator? I am, was it Doc? No, doggone it. So close, and I screwed it up again. It'll probably hit me. Like, the answer to yesterday's Joe's trivia question was, of course, Operation Annihilate was the episode, but I couldn't think of it on the show. And then I went down to make lunch, and it just hit me when I stopped thinking about it. Something Roy Kirk. What the heck was his first name? Now it'll come to me. I know it will. So I'm not giving up on it yet. When in doubt, helmet is out. I'm pro metal girdle. Metal helmet, classic look is better, and it distinguishes him from the Wendigo. How about that? Eric the Guapo is dropping in. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Eric. Thanks for joining us today. Okay, let's be less of a negative Nelly. I don't really understand what. Okay. I'll try to be. Oh, I see. He says he'll try to be less of a negative. All right, good. Dojo Kun Comics is here. Was it Sam Kirk? That was his brother who died in Operation Annihilate. But the episode, The Changeling, it was like Edison Roy Kirk or Captain James Kirk. Roy. It's something Roy Kirk. I know. Well, honestly, Josh, we only really enjoy snacks on Sunday. Sunday is really the snacking show. Any other days of the week, snacking is purely optional. Wait a minute. Latest version from Immortal Hulk has the helmet. So you're saying they went helmet, they went away from the helmet, and they've come back to the helmet. Okay. See, Mythic Rare says Xemnu with Magneto's helmet. Okay. No, I'm not going to Google. I'm going to remember. Jackson Roy Kirk. That's who it was. Thank you. Ding, 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 ding. Winner. As Kirk said, you've made 2 mistakes. No, 3 mistakes. Anyway, so yeah, that was The Changeling. It was Jackson Roy Kirk was the creator of The Changeling. Thank you very much. You can send my prize, or I guess you can get my no prize out immediately. Okay. We're going to go little Xemnu helmet. I'm going bigger because I want to do this on gray paper, and I can't find my smaller pads. So, oh, in classic Aaron fashion, I have not set up my camera controls. So give me a second here whilst I do that. Okay. Move this camera back around here. There we go. Good old, just like Jackson Roy Kirk would have done it in the Changeling episode, I think. Okay, so there it is. Dr. Jackson Roy Kirk. Thank you very much. Thank you. Are you trying to make a comment about me? Is that what that is? Tiny baby sloth daw? Um, that's right. You get nothing. Good day, sir. Of course, he's referencing Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with the late great Gene Wilder. You can't slide by movie and TV stuff by me. Wow. Look at that. Leg kick is trying to be clever, but sadly failing. Boo. Yeah, well, he'll, keep trying, keep trying. Now, this is interesting. I hope we don't offend any Scientologists with the Xemnu drawing. I don't get that. You just slipped one by me. I don't know. I don't get it. Randy L says, I officially award you a Marvel no prize for your answer. It fits their pay scale these days. That's worth a laugh. Yeah, let's see here. I think we need an Aaron versus that Star Wars girl Trek trivia. Well, wait a minute. If she's that Star Wars girl, does she really know anything about Star Trek, or is she just? Because I'm not a great Star Wars person, so I might fail in but a Star Trek quiz, a classic, I'd be tough. I'd be tough. Clydine Nee is in the house. Hey, Clydine, thanks for joining us. It is good to, well, hear from you, although I'm not seeing you. But thank you. Devil Flyer Rex Christian Momentum says he loves Chaplin. Hail, Aaron. Hey, Devil Flyer. Hey, Aaron, are you going to? Hey, Aaron, are you going to make an appearance on Fragtober this month? Yes, I am. I've already challenged him. So yes, I will be making an appearance. Oh, Eric is saying Anna. Oops, wrong one. I'm sorry. Every time I click on something, someone comments and it gets right underneath my clicker before I can change direction. Yes, Anna does know quite a bit about Star Trek as well. Okay. All right. Well, not at all. Oh, see, there you go. That's me. It's not at all, Aaron. Also going full Lex Luthor haircut is a good choice. You have a good head shape. Well, thank you. Yeah, the Jack show seems to me like it's probably a little too risque for my taste, so I probably wouldn't show up on the Jack show. Donut Stick says, can't wait for my copy of Wraith of God. Thank you. I can't wait either. See, Clydene's getting her getting her Trek reference in there. It is because she is of the body. That, of course, the Will of Landru episode. London Fog 66. In fact, you messaged me. I remember you saying this, that Aaron, your comic is the first thing I've ever backed. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I won't let you down. Neon Todd Studios is in here. How about that? Welcome, everybody. Again, if you're new to this channel, please take a moment and subscribe if you would be so kind. But let's start drawing. We could talk all day. And of course, I will continue to talk as I draw because that's kind of what I do. So we're going, let me pull up my reference here really quick. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit bigger Xemnu here. Kind of indicating a head here, even though he doesn't necessarily really have a head. Sort of reaching down at us with his big Titan hand. Of course, Titans only have 3 fingers and a thumb, not 4. It's the Titan way. Now, I guess the question is, if he's a Titan, if he's like the living Titan, is he in any way related to Thanos? I mean, Thanos is a Titan too, but Thanos is a Titan in the sense that he's from Titan. And so maybe Xemnu is just a Titan in the sense that he's, you know, like a big dude, a Titan. Some of you guys that maybe are a little bit more in tune to Marvel and what's going on in recent years might be able to enlighten me on the way of the Titan. We're going to give him his little helmet. I might want to move this hand up a little bit. I'll move that over. Clydine wants to know what type of pencil I'm using. At the moment, I'm using a Derwent graphic HB lead. I prefer the HB lead, which is sort of right in the middle. So it's not too soft and not too hard. It's just right. These are really terrific pencils. They're kind of expensive, and they're not. I've used these for years when I've actually used pencils like this. I use a mechanical pencil when I do my comic book pages. But when I'm doing sketches, I don't want kind of a bigger, bolder line, basically for your guys' viewing pleasure. I will use my Derwent graphic. I'm going to change this hand a little bit. I think I'll move it up just a hair. Excuse me. There we go. I think that's that feels right. So the question is, does Xemnu, sometimes he has eyes or pupils and sometimes he doesn't. And I don't, I'm not really sure I'm convinced either way with the, because doesn't he use like his, like he has like hypno eyes when he's trying to, like remember those ads in the old comic books where they were like, had those swirling eyes for the X-ray vision or whatever, glasses. He sort of has that going on, doesn't he? So. Aaron, do you have any of the original pages from Planet Hulk? I do, but not for sale. All the pages I have left, well, I sold most of, all the Hulk pages are sold, with the exceptions of the ones I kept for myself. And I kept two splash pages, and several panel pages that I really kind of liked. Then sold the rest. I think those are pages that are destined to actually be worth good money over the course of time. And I'm probably going to regret that I sold as many as I did. But again, at the time when I sold them, I got good money for them. It's just that, you know, it always changes, right? And I was like, oh, if I'd only held on to it for 10 more years or 5 more years or whatever. But I think we can always say that. But I do have some pretty quality. I have a really good splash page of him fighting the Emperor. And then just some panel pages that I particularly liked for a variety of reasons. But yeah, I don't have any of the, it's like asking me if I have any Wonder Woman pages left. Oh, I've got pages from Wonder Woman, but none with Wonder Woman on them, except for the ones, of course, I kept for myself. maybe a bigger question right now is, why is Xemnu obsessed with the Hulk? If you're, if you're a living Titan, why would, is it just, do you think Marvel just threw him in there because he was the only guy big enough to really kind of mess with the Hulk? But he's got like, he's like got mind powers or something. Why wouldn't you go after I mean, the Hulk doesn't really have a lot to offer except, sheer strength. He's not like this, you know. I mean, I guess he is a brilliant scientist when he's not the Hulk, but I guess that's kind of like asking, well, why does any villain attack any superhero, right? They got to have, I guess you can't read into it too much. But I'm glad to hear that Xemnu has made recent appearances in like the Immortal Hulk, which I never read. I heard it was good, but I never read it. Kind of really bad about reading modern comics. I just have not, even when I was working, full time at DC or Marvel, I never really read a bunch of modern comics. I was more of a collected the old ones. Which doesn't make a lot of sense. If you're, if you're creating comics, you'd think I'd be keeping up on what's going on in current comics, but I haven't been, have not been great at doing that. Those of you who are regulars here will know that I think the last, well, I did read, what was that Sean Gordon Murphy thing, the white, something, the Batman thing that he did. I did read that. I thought it was, I thought it was all right. There's some interesting stuff in there, like there's two different Harley Quinns and all that kind of stuff. That was somewhat interesting. And I read Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok's, 13 Jokers or 3 Jokers or this 3 Jokers or whatever it was. But before that, I think the last thing I read was Savage Avengers, the first couple issues of Savage Avengers, which I liked. I thought was actually kind of good. I wasn't convinced that they'd be able to combine all those characters in a way that was even remotely believable or acceptable, but they did, and I kind of liked it. Of course, any series that starts in the Savage Land, I'm probably going to be a fan of. So. I don't know. I'm caught a little bit in a time warp, I guess. This is the kind of stuff I like. The old stuff, the stuff I liked as a kid, I still like. And I have a great appreciation for. I know we look at that and say, well, wow, that was easy. Are we done? Well, no, now because now the hard part starts. I will save judgment on his eyes until later. Okay, let me get caught up here with you guys. This is true. We actually did a little brief history of Xemnu before you came in, Devil Flyer. You missed all that, but yes, you are correct. um, or is it just because modern comics are just bad? Well, I mean, when you say modern, by modern meaning like what's coming out like right now, yeah, there's a good argument for that. There you go. Life is too short to waste on modern Marvel comics. Just bought the Tomb of Dracula complete collection, volume 1. It looks awesome. That would be some good reading. Clydine says, I inherited a bunch of Silver Age comics when I was 10 years old, and I think it's still to my perception of comics towards the Silver Age. Yeah, we always, isn't that really? I mean, comics are such a part of our, for most of us, part of our youth growing up. Comic books were a part of that. And it's sort of, those old comics draw us back into when we were kids. And it's kind of that feeling of innocence. And we're able to kind of, not have to worry about the difficulties and the responsibilities of life for a few minutes while we kind of, you know, fall back into that mode of being a kid again and the wonderment that comics actually had when we were kids. So anyway, all right. So so we can get rid of some of this pencil stuff under here. Normally I wouldn't clean it up, but for what I'm about to do, the insane thing that I am about to do with this all white character, I got to clean up some of this mess. We're going to grab the trusty old white chalk pencil and start drawing the hair. Can you believe it? I must be crazy, but I'm doing it because he is Xemnu, the living Titan. So we'll go ahead and hopefully I got enough white pencil here to make this work. I mean, as you can see, it's getting pretty stubby. As you guys have joked before, it's turning a bit into a miniature golf pencil. So we'll go ahead and texture this up. You're saying, surely, Aaron, you're not crazy enough to do his whole figure this way. Yeah, I pretty much am. Mm-hmm. I suppose I could do a little bit of shadow in here, but let me see. You know what? Yeah, I could. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a little bit of gray in here first. No, I don't want to use warm gray because I'm going to use cool gray. So let's do a little 3 here. I think what I'll do is try and be clever here and well, we'll see how it works out. going to blend the white into this gray. See how it works out. Of course, I picked the one pen that's almost out of ink. That's all right, because actually, I think this texturing is going to help me get the desired effect I want here. Yeah, let's see if this two's got any more life in it. Oh yeah, there we go. It's better. Thing is, it shows real dark at first, but then it's going to fade and be really light. Like, as you can see what's happened here. So on a completely unrelated note, I watched Fright Night last night, the original, with Chris Sarandon as the vampire and Roddy McDowall as Peter Vincent, Vampire Slayer. That is such... I mean, if you like vampire flicks, that to me is the ultimate vampire flick. Even though the main girl is ends up being the neighbor to the Bundys on Married with Children, the annoying neighbor. At times she seems a little old to be what was the kid's name? Brewster. Seems a little old to be his girlfriend, but the movie has a really, I mean, Sarandon's really good, but Roddy McDowall gives a really nice performance in that film, I thought. Let's see here. I'm trying to go back and catch up with, I'm not sure what, do artists get to keep any and all art if they want? Well, what happens is you get the art returned to you, and technically how they work it is, I got to grab my markers. Technically how they work it is that if you, Marvel and DC own the copyright on the material, but they give you back the original art, so you can sell the original art or keep it, but you don't have the right to reproduce it, and anybody you sell it to does not have the right to reproduce it. So that's kind of how it works. And that didn't used to be the case, but you know, Neil Adams and Jim Shooter likes to take credit for it, but I think it was more probably Neil Adams, you know, pushing for that in the 70s. But I guess Shooter was in charge at Marvel when Marvel finally started returning the artwork. 'To the creators. Let's see. Claudine wishes she still had her comics. I wish my mother sold my entire collection for $2 at a garage sale. Oh no. Oh goodness, that's horrible. If you're talking about Xemnu, no. Well, he started out as being a man-made creation back in, as we showed, Journey into Mystery number 62 was his first appearance. But then I believe he became an alien invader. So there seems to be a question about that, and I would actually have to go back and read the source material since I haven't done it in a long time. But he was also brown and called the Hulk, right, at first, and now he's white and an alien, I think. Is it McDonald's Super Grimace? Oh, here's the Super Grimace. Boo! Let's see here. You're high. He needs eye bags and also the weird mustache hair tentacles on his mouth area. Yeah, I don't. Now, see, you're talking about the too modernized version. This is the classic version. Yes, we got confirmation that Fright Night was actually a good movie. In Marvel Feature 3, didn't they have Xemnu the Titan action figures as he was part of a kids show? I think you might be right about that. Again, I'd have to go crack that book open and read it. I haven't read it since I was a kid. Devil Flyer wants to know what type of paper. That's what I'm using right there. Strathmore toned gray mixed media. It's got a nice surface on it. It's a really thick paper, real heavy paper. Almost a cardstock, but it holds up really well, just about anything you want to throw on it. Whenever someone blows by me in cars, I always use the line, "You're so cool, Brewster." Of course, that was Evil Ed, his buddy who became a vampire. Yeah, Charlie Brewster. The remake, I guess, was not good. I didn't see it. So anyway, let's get back to this. So I'm using a C4, but you can see again how dark that is when you put it on there, but how light it gets as it sort of dries and soaks into the paper. But I'll lay this down. I'm trying to get a little bit of texture in here, as you can probably see, you know, trying to get a little line texture in there to kind of go along with the idea that this is, you know, it's all fur, right? Okay, so let's leave that where it's at and go back to our chalk pencil. I'm going to try and integrate the white into the gray a little bit so it feels like we're kind of the white blending into the shadow. Let's see. Now, of course, I could leave, since the paper is gray. The idea for using tonal paper, of course, is you've already got your mid-tone already established, right? So then you just would, this is your mid-tone, so you'd lay in your darkers and your highlights over the top of it. And so that the gray that's the paper actually should make up the mid-tone, so you could actually go from dark gray to medium gray to white. I'm not going to specifically use it that way, I don't think, but maybe I will. What fun. I was going to use the whiteout pen, but then I thought, I can't really get the texture that I want. I don't, by doing that, I don't think. This way I can actually sort of get this to really sort of feel like fur, look like fur, rather than just pure white. I'm going to have to continue sharpening this baby, though. Like I said, this pencil is really like more of a chalk pencil than it is a colored pencil. So rubbing your hand across it would be a bad idea, because it would smear real easy like chalk would. Of course, Paul is referring to the Humble Bumble. Now, Joe, you can do your own drawing if you want, you know. No, I see what you're saying. Put in heavier shadows in there and make it look creepier, but of course, there's a variety of ways you could approach this. And when I get this white in here, if that, you see, that those shadows may not be dark enough. So I may actually have to heed Joe's advice and go in with a little bit of black to create a darker area. I mean, it is a sketch, right? So we can experiment all we want. I could go in with a, well, I got a C5, I think, is as dark as I go. I've got an N7. That's a neutral gray 7, which would be pretty dark. I'm going to use the flat tip of this here to give me a little bit thicker coverage. It's like, where did all that dust come from? But I guess I used the pencil sharpener over the top of this, and it was like, let me see if this, let's see if I go in here with a C5. Well, that'll do. And of course, I'm doing exactly what I just said not to do, which is put my hand on the white. It's a little better, but again, I think it's going to dry and not be as dark. It's helping a little bit here with that. This gray seems to be giving me that. I think that's going to be dark enough for what I want. Again, you'll notice I'm doing this pretty loose. I think ultimately it's going to have a little bit more energy and a little bit more freshness rather than trying to, make every line exact. Okay. Let's see what we can do with this. I may actually destroy this little pencil before we're done. Oh, where are we at here? Thank you. The dog started barking. I wasn't even paying attention. Did I miss it? Probably. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's asking. Jeff was asking if he thought Shooter could save Marvel at this point. Well, you need to go up. The problem with Marvel right now is you need to go higher up than just whoever's editor-in-chief to make serious changes in what they're doing. Zaid Comics is in the house. Yo, Aaron. Hey, Zaid. Thanks for dropping by. All right. Where was I? Oh, yeah, Xemnu. Okay. I've got one more of these pencils someplace, but I can't remember exactly where. So I'm going to have to make this one last, which I think I can. I think I can get this. And we'll drag some of those white lines into that darker gray. This ended up being a little bit harder work than I thought it was going to be. Not necessarily hard, but time consuming maybe. Ooh, Randy is dropping me some money. Thank you, Randy. That's very kind of you. $10, as they say, that ain't cheap. The creepy thing about a monster like Xemnu is that he would definitely scare an adult silly, but you could see a child run up to him and hug him. Yeah, that's actually probably pretty true. More or less. I mean, I was really growing up. I was a Marvel zombie. I did my most work at Marvel, which people probably don't realize, on X-Men, which I never was an X-Men fan. I never liked the X-Men. And that's what I ended up doing my most work on, at least not necessarily the X-Men comic, but X-Men characters, like the Excalibur and the new X-Men, and Sentinel Squad was an X-Men offshoot, and House of M. I did some of that stuff, and I started off doing Spider-Man backup stories. So I have done some Spider-Man stuff, but nothing significant. Although I did do in issue 365 that's the hologram, the black cover with the hologram. I did pencil and ink Spider-Man's origin story in there. Now, granted, it's very old, low prestige, so you're not going to find a great expression of my artistic abilities in that book, but I still did it. So I don't know. I mean, I would have, when I did the Avengers Disassembled What If book, it was, What If Avengers Disassembled, I got to draw just about every Marvel character I wanted to, at least like in one panel. So there's like a nice section of Doctor Strange in there, and I got to draw a little Doctor Strange in Excalibur. I drew one panel of Iron Fist in it because I wanted to draw Iron Fist. So, and then at DC, I drew everybody I wanted to, with the exception of, well, actually, I did do Plastic Man. The Creeper, I guess, would have been the only one that I would have liked to have done something with that I didn't get a chance to. And the Spectre. Oh, and Dead Man. all the characters that nobody cares about. But see, being a Marvel zombie is true, but all the DC characters I like the best are all the oddball characters. And that was really hard to get Dan DiDio to let me do anything with those characters because no one would buy them, and he knew no one would buy them, and so it was kind of like, yeah, wouldn't it be great if we could do the Creeper? And I was like, yeah, but no one will buy it. So But I did talk him into letting me do that Metamorpho miniseries. So I did get to draw Metamorpho. And that was good fun. Try and get this white over here on the light side of him a little bit heavier. But yeah, pretty much. You know, when you're in the industry for 30 years, like that mainstream industry for 30 years, you eventually are going to, just by accident, going to stumble on a lot of stuff that, you know. I had a Deathlock miniseries I wanted to do that I never got to do, and I had Man Thing. I never drew Man Thing either. At Marvel and DC, would you request to work on certain characters, just accept what was assigned? Well, you request to work on certain characters, and then you accept what you're assigned. So both. We're always requesting, but that doesn't mean we're always getting. In fact, it rarely. I mean, a lot of times they would come to you and say, "Hey, this is available. Do you want to do it?" You know, and so obviously you're making the choice whether or not you want to do something or not. But of course, if you turn something down, you don't know if there's something else waiting for you either. So, a lot of times I accepted stuff that, you know, would not have been my first choice, but like Amethyst, but which ended up being actually a pretty good series, but it's not something that's going to help your career because no one's going to buy it, and no one did, and as a result, it got canceled after 7 issues or 8 issues, whatever it was, 7 or 8. But yeah, I was always putting forth proposals for stuff, but it's a lot easier to get stuff approved when you're a big name. When I was at Marvel, I was still sort of developing. And so I had no way to get stuff done. When I went to DC, that was a different story. But it was still tough to get stuff done, but I had a decent shot at doing it. Again, Garbage Man and Metamorpho were 2 things that I, pitched and were able to get done. So, but that stuff was usually very few and far in between. Eric, the Guapo wants to know, is this a Sasquatch kind of character? No, he's an alien, I think. Has anybody able to validate that? Is he actually an alien, or is he a created being? I mean, he originally was a created being. But he's just a fuzzy alien. Yes, of Just Stout says it was a Hulk prototype that then became its own character and became a Hulk villain, actually. There's yeah, I'm sorry, Randy, he's confirming it's an alien, that Xemnu is now an alien. Is there a book that I regret turning down? Yes. Well, regret is such a strong word. Okay, originally when I came over to DC, I was supposed to be the artist on Power Girl. And in fact, I'd even done some character designs on it. And then Terry Dodson left Wonder Woman, and Mike Martz said, hey, why don't we get Aaron to do this? And so they offered it to me, and I didn't take it at first because I thought, I don't want to follow Terry. You know, Terry had a very successful run on Wonder Woman, and I don't want to be compared to Terry. And, Terry and I are compared enough simply because we are friends, and we've had a, booth at San Diego, and we often do shows together back in the day when we did shows, and, that type of thing. And so I don't know, I felt really weird following in his footsteps, if you would, on Wonder Woman. So I didn't really want to do it. And then they talked me into it, basically, because they're like, dude, she's an icon. You're making a huge mistake if you don't take this. And so I finally said, all right, I'll do it. So I did it, and I had a successful run on Wonder Woman, and I don't regret that. But at the same time, Amanda Conner ended up being the artist on Power Girl, and Power Girl sold way better than Wonder Woman did. And as a result, I think Amanda got, way more visibility than I did, working on what you would have thought was an iconic character like that you would really help your profile. But I don't know that it really did. And I think actually if I'd done Power Girl, I might have gotten more notoriety and put myself in a better position career-wise. I'm basing that solely on, how Amanda's career took off after doing that. It may not have happened with me, it might have just been because it was her. But you kind of look at that and say, well, gosh, I wonder if I'd have been in better shape if I had done Power Girl instead of Wonder Woman. The other thing is, after I got done with Wonder Woman, I was supposed to take over Superman, but it was Superman Walks Across America, and I was like, there's no way I'm drawing that. So I'm glad I didn't do it, just because it was so lame. But at the same time, it's like I could have been the artist on Superman, and I chose not to. But if I had taken Superman, I might have been, I might have done that story arc, and then they might have moved me on to something else. So those are the only things I think I probably have second thoughts about. Because usually I took what I was offered. I wasn't always that too picky. Sometimes I was, sometimes I wasn't, but okay. I want to go ahead and got to answer a text from my daughter. Excuse me a second. When you were at Marvel developing, was that during Art Taber's second comeback from retirement? Poor Art. Poor Art. Oh, there he is. You need to be nice, Joe. I'm always listening. Always see Art is always hanging around. He knows that you're making fun of him, his age. But you know, for a guy as old as Art is, he still brings it. And you should check out his Black and White Volume 2 campaign. It's funding on Indiegogo right now. No, I was going to use, no, I'm using, well, I don't know whose design. I thought it was Adam Hughes with the peekaboo window. That's, I think, pretty much what they were using. Neon Todd is quite, he says, I can't believe I come back just in time to witness Art threaten his immortal vengeance on someone. It's awesome. Jeff's heading out. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you stopping by. Aaron, we can see your phone message on the camera. Oh. Oh, well. Yeah, my daughter's in closing down we have a storage unit in Phoenix where she's at, and I've been telling her, you got to close that down. We're not using it. And so she wants the code to get in, which is downstairs. So she's going to have to wait a minute till I. I have a see now. What else did you guys see on there? Was there anything? Yeah. I don't think there was anything too revealing on there. I'm darkening some of these lines so I get a little bit more separation. Okay, so I got to do this now. If someone's dinging me, I got to check it so that I'm not revealing any secret messages or anything. Oh, no. Joe just sent me George Perez's design for Power Girl. Yeah, I did Justice League and I got to draw everybody, so that's true. Yeah, I know. I keep forgetting where my camera angle is. Yeah, except there's nothing in there. That's the thing. So I wanted to go down and close it down. It was storing my kids, her stuff in there and her friends' stuff in there, and they're not using it anymore because they all moved in on campus to their, where they're supposed to be. And so I'm like, close that thing down so I don't keep getting charged for it. Okay. Yeah, I revealed my heritage username the other day on here by accident, but not the password. Oh, I know what I want to do. I'm going to go in with this because this is actually, this Presto pen is like, gives me a hotter white. I think that'll give me just enough highlight on that side that it do exactly what I want it to do. I'm going to go ahead and okay, so then I go in with this. It's going to make my white on this side hotter, which is exactly what I want. It also helped define this edge better than it currently was. Whew, the fumes, man, getting high. Not really, but I can smell the fumes. So you can see that white pen gives me a hotter white on there. It's like a whiter highlight on the white. All right, so I guess I gotta do his eyes red, don't I? Which over this gray is not gonna be perfect, but. And I gotta give him his little, swirly effects. As he's using his alien hypno powers to control the Hulk. Where's that dumb pencil at? There it is. Put a little highlight in there. I'll highlight there. A little bit of black in here to help separate those eyes. Okay, let's add a little bit more detail here. Go back in here with the, and work on this helmet just a little bit. And then I think Separate this hair just a little bit from that helmet. I'm not going to do a full line, but I'm going to add just a little bit of black in here around the. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Xemnu, the living Titan. And I'm not done yet. All right, enough is enough. He's kind of spooky. Oh, wait a minute. A little bit of hair in here, texture in there. All right, I'm done. So, well, I'm going to have to sign Xemnu up here, which I guess may be a little bit distracting, but heck. There it is. I'm officially done. All right. I think you're correct. Byrne did use him. Probably the Hulk. Sublet my locker to Marvel. They made it downsize. All right, so I'm back. Let's take a look at this like this. You can probably see that texture fairly well on there. So that was good fun. That's actually, I like that. I like Xemnu. All right, gang, that's all I got for today. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I want to remind everybody, of course, yeah, he does, doesn't he? Do you sell your drawings after these streams? Always. Always. So if you're interested in getting, one, just message me, email me. You can message me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. excuse me, you can contact me at aaron@aaronlopresti.com. You can contact me through my website, and you can just send me money for recreational purposes right there at Aaron. The answer to all questions are aaron@aaronlopresti.com. So anyway, thank you all for joining me. It was fun. I got to get back to that pop-up book now that we've drawn Xemnu. And what's tomorrow? Thursday? I might come back tomorrow, Thursday, for yet another Monster of the Month drawing. Who knows what it'll be? But it'll definitely be something. So again, if you haven't backed Wraith of God or you'd like to check it out, there's a link in the description of this video, and you can jump right over there to Indiegogo and check out the campaign if you'd like. It's open in demand right now, so you can still order a copy if you'd like to get in on the excitement. And until we meet again, I wish you all a good afternoon, a good evening, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for joining me.